I just wanted to do that just because of how funny it is. Oh man, Braun Strowman is by far the only thing Braun Strowman is probably the only thing that actually was good about Monday Night Raw. Everything else was just a shell and just a piece of shit. That's basically what I can describe Raw. I mean, we get 2 title matches, which were basically given out of bullshit reasons. And I'll get onto the rest of the shit in a minute, but basically, from what I know on Raw, we've seen a few multiple returns. We saw the return of Stephanie McMahon, and then we saw the return of Nia Jax, and then we also got the return. Thought I heard something. Then we had the return of the Samoan submission machine, Samoan Joe, and then from there, it pretty much just went downhill. It pretty much went downhill after that. So let's go over it. The show started off with Kurt Angle. He was talking to all of the wrestlers who were involved in the whole scandal and the whole Under Siege and you know what, and you want to know what's silly? What's silly is that Oscar is standing on the stage and Kurt Angle is saying I put all of you in danger, and I was like, you didn't endanger Oscar. Where was Oscar when the whole Under Siege happened? Like, Oscar was nowhere to be seen. I mean, the women I saw that got beaten up were Sasha, Mickie James, and Bayley, and Dana Brooke and Emma, before she got released, were running from the SmackDown locker room. They were running away from the SmackDown locker room. Oscar was nowhere to be seen. So how did you endanger her when literally she wasn't even around? And also later on in the show, Kurt Angle gets furious at, I should say, furious at Alexa Bliss for not trying to help Monday Night Raw. Why are you furious at Alexa Bliss? She had nothing to do with the whole thing. She's trying to worry about Natalya. And also, if I'm not mistaken, Alexa Bliss got attacked by Mickie James. So how can how can she help them if she was attacked by Mickie James? So, and also The Miz ended up arriving late. And The Miz, I'm going to get into more of The Miz later on, but early on, he arrives, and Stephanie McMahon has forced Kurt Angle to being the team captain of Team Raw, and this is where the predictability is coming into play. Stephanie McMahon makes Kurt Angle team captain of Team Raw, and she tells Kurt Angle, if Monday Night Raw does not win, Kurt Angle will be fired as general manager of Raw. Predictable outcome, anybody? Predictable outcome? Are you kidding me? So, you just made Survivor Series even more predictable. You just made Survivor Series more like it should now be renamed to the Predictable Series. Because that's pretty much what it is. It's predictable. This type of shit pisses me off. And I don't like random stipulations being thrown in matches in a big match. When a big match like Team Raw versus Team SmackDown is thrown with a big match stipulation, this just gives away the result. This just gives away a result. So this pretty much means when SmackDown gets AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon, which is most likely going to be Shane McMahon, when these 5 guys are in the ring, you're telling me this tag team, this team of Orton, Roode, Nakamura, and AJ Styles is going to lose to whoever Kurt Angle's going to have on his team. I mean, obviously, Samoan Joe is going to be one. Finn Balor could be another one. The Bar could be an option. But, I mean, seriously. Are you kidding me? Unless they do decide to have SmackDown win and Kurt Angle loses his job. But I very much doubt Kurt Angle is done with WWE. I very much doubt it. So Monday Night Raw, at the moment, it's become predictable. Survivor Series' main event, or should I say the 5-on-5 tag match, has just become predictable. We were originally supposed to have Bayley versus the team captain. Why is the team captain? I mean, what is Monday Night Raw doing? What is Monday Night Raw doing? I know that it's still leading up to Survivor Series, but why is Bayley fighting with Alicia Fox? Now SmackDown's already got their team set, so SmackDown's already got their team set because they pretty much got everybody who were a part of that Fatal 5-Way: Becky, Charlotte, Naomi, Tamina, and Carmella. That's pretty much all they had. So don't expect Becky Lynch to put on a pirate ship hat and start playing with a microphone and start saying, "This is your team captain speaking. It is my duty to make a great SmackDown team, so I have to provide business." I mean, seriously, Alicia Fox was absolutely cringe. She was absolutely cringe. Unbelievable. So instead of Alicia Fox getting in the ring and wrestling, she decides to say, "As your team captain of Monday Night Raw, it is my duty to take my job seriously as team captain. So Bayley, I am in no business facing you tonight. I'm gonna give you this woman." And then Nia Jax came out. And by the way, I knew it was going to be Nia Jax because I knew it was going to be Nia Jax because and don't call me a smart ass because I knew. I mean, do you honestly believe? Just think about this. Do you honestly believe Monday Night Raw needs Paige? I heard a lot of people saying Paige could come back. Do you honestly believe Raw needs Paige? I mean, look at the people they've got on their brand. They don't need Paige. They can easily just sell Paige to SmackDown Live, and they'll have no issues with it. I mean, really. There is no need. They don't need Paige. They don't need Paige. Probably the only way Paige is going to get put into the whole thing is because now that Bayley lost to Nia Jax. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I have never been a fan of Bayley. And I'm man enough to admit that. I've never been a fan of Bayley. But, with this defeat, are you honestly telling me you're taking Bayley out of Survivor Series? You're taking Bayley out of Survivor Series. I respect Bayley as an in-ring performer. As goofy as her character is, and as goofy and as stupid as her moves are, she's a wrestler, and I respect her as a wrestler. But are you seriously telling me Bayley is gonna miss out at Survivor Series because she lost to Nia Jax? That would be full. Like, can you imagine that they did that to Sasha? I mean, Sasha Banks losing to, like, I don't know, a Dana Brooke, and she's out of Survivor Series. And then that would mean that would leave you with Fox, Nia, Dana, Mickey. And then you would have then you'd be able to put Asuka in. Now that could be the case, but basically what I'm trying to say is that if they take Bayley and Sasha out of Survivor Series, which I doubt they'll take Sasha out of Survivor Series, I am going to stick to my theory that they need to turn Bayley heel. And if they take Bayley out of Survivor Series and Sasha Banks goes into Survivor Series, I reckon they could easily trigger Bayley to get very, very angry that Alicia Fox picked her friend over her. But I very, very much doubt it. I mean, I at this point, I mean, like, look at the shit I said about Emma. And it sucks to see Emma get released. I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken when she got released. WWE have completely killed my spirit. I didn't even want to come on here and do a review. I've barely done any reviews on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live at all. Or because either A, I've had no interest in doing it, or B, I'm just way too busy. And now that I got time on my hands, I actually can do one. So apparently Bayley's gonna be out of Survivor Series. If Bayley's gonna be out of Survivor Series, I mean, sucks for Bayley because Bayley won for Team Raw last year. It was down to Bayley and Charlotte last year, and Bayley eliminated Becky Lynch to win the match for her team. And I believe Becky was team captain that year as well. No, wait, no, it was Nikki Bella. Yeah, it was Nikki Bella, and she got attacked, so Natalya was team captain. Sorry. Sorry, I thought Becky was captain, because I remember Becky being the SmackDown Women's Champion that year. I mean, and that was another thing that really that was another thing that kind of angered me a little bit last year. I mean, like, every other champion was captain, but Becky wasn't that year. And that left me confused. But, oh well, that was last year. Now they got the champions facing each other, which I'm actually okay with that. I don't know why people hate it. But, you know, it's WWE fans. They have to be angry about everything. They can't just smile or be happy. They can't just say, "Oh, I like this whole champion versus champion thing. They're starting to find out who's the better brand." I mean, people don't take people aren't happy about everything these days. So, Nia beats Bayley, and it looks like Bayley could be taken out of Survivor Series completely, which I think is a total shame. Samoa Joe, he made his return, and I literally thought, for whatever reason, I know Joe had no interest in the women, but for whatever reason, something was in my mind thinking, like, Nia Jax and Samoa Joe. I mean, like, could that be a match? But at the same time, I was like, nah, that's just ridiculous. So, but it just felt really weird that Samoa Joe just came out as soon as the girls were leaving. And I just found that really, really bizarre. That's why I just thought of the whole Nia Jackson Samoa Joe thing. I don't know why that crossed my mind. I'm just an idiot. But Samoa Joe came out. He was acting like a babyface. He was like, "Oh, I bet all of you missed me." And then the crowd were like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I didn't miss any of you at all." And he's like, "I don't care about you people." And blah, blah, blah. And then Apollo Crews challenges him to a match. He beats Apollo Crews. And then Titus O'Neil gets in the ring. And Titus O'Neil threatens to fight with Samoa Joe. Then Samoa Joe backs away. Then Titus O'Neil turns his back to aid Apollo Crews. And then Samoa Joe does the Kuji Clutch on Titus O'Neil. The Miz arrived late, and then The Miz got an Intercontinental title match, and The Miz doesn't know who his opponent is, because Kurt Angle said, "Well, if you arrived on time, I would have told you." And that turned out to being Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy was so close on becoming the Intercontinental Champion. And so close on becoming Intercontinental Champion. It was so close. It was so tight. It was very hard to see who was going to win. But in the end, Miz got the win, which I thought in the end was still predictable that Miz was not going to lose before Survivor Series. So the Miz got the win there. Now this is the shit. We're not even halfway in this. There's still a lot more shit I need to go over. There's still a lot of shit I need to go over. And this right here takes the cake. Emma gets released, along with Summer Rae. Asuka is having her second match on Monday Night Raw. You look at the roster. Who do you think is logical to take on Asuka? Sasha's not, because there'll be a WrestleMania-worthy match. Mickie James won't, because she's feuding with Bliss. Alicia Fox and Bayley and Nia. Nia's an option, but she's a part of Survivor Series. So the only person literally on the roster that could fight Asuka tonight was Dana Brooke. And that was my prediction. I was like, I looked at all the people on the roster. Paige isn't there. Paige hasn't come back. And I was like, well, Mickie and Alexa are in a program. Alicia and Nia and Bayley all wrestled. Sasha won't fight her because, you know, it's a WrestleMania-worthy match and people will bitch about it. So I predict Dana Brooke will be the one to face Asuka. Asuka versed a person by the name of Stacey Cullen. So this is what Asuka's streak has become. Fighting local jobbers. She goes from beating Emma twice to versing a local jobber. So they're making a mockery out of Asuka's, you know, little streak. Really? Asuka is not going to be the same as she was in NXT. Even though I really don't give a... Even though I'm not a big fan of Asuka's. But this is just preposterous. This is just preposterous, ridiculous, and just downright stupid. Asuka beats this Stacey Cullen with no effort. Asuka lock and oh god, that tap out. That tap out was so sloppy. She was like slapping the mat like really like a complete friggin' donkey. It's like she didn't even know what she was doing. Asuka, you know, Asuka is just... I don't mean to offend anybody, but to me, Asuka is really overrated. And she's just overhyped to me. She's really overhyped. I'm tired of Asuka. I was tired of her in NXT. And now I'm dealing with the same shit that she's getting on Monday Night Raw. Now, I know this is only her third match on the main roster. But, you know, seriously, if we're going to be getting the same old shit, then this is just going to be preposterous. Daniel Bryan eventually appeared on Raw, and he gets attacked by Kane. Now, I don't know the logic on this. Apparently, this is Kurt Angle's way on getting back on SmackDown for the Under Siege. That's not how you retaliate to SmackDown Live, guys. That's not how you retaliate to SmackDown. You under siege them! You do it back to them! Alright, you don't have enough wrestlers to do an under siege. You didn't have enough talents to do an under siege. But who cares, right? Who cares? Daniel Bryan gets taken out on a stretcher. I don't know where this is leading. Maybe this could lead to a new general manager. I've actually got a news report, and I've got a news report about who could possibly be the new general manager of SmackDown, and I want you to take it with a pinch of salt because it's just a rumor at this point in time, but I'll get to that on maybe Friday or Saturday. We'll see whenever I'm free. Then we had Finn Balor defeat Cesaro. I do like the new graphic for Sheamus and Cesaro. The whole bar thing, it's got them doing that. It's got that and the word the bar. I do like that. That graphic looked really cool. Then we had Kane. Kane beats Seth Rollins. So then we go from Kane beating Seth Rollins. This isn't the Shield of old. And I'm sorry for that buzzing noise, that's just my phone going off. This is not the Shield of old. The Shield is just not the same. They're now losing. When the Shield first arrived in WWE, they were undefeated. And now the Shield is losing to Kane. Why? Because the bar interfered. Cool. Cool. Like I care. Kane is a dead character. Kane's a dead character. And that's about it. Now, this is the stupid shit. I mean, this is what you call a typical Monday Night Raw. We get Heath Slater and Rhino, and they take on Gallows and Anderson in a Halloween street fight. Oh my god. Why am I seeing this on my team? Oh, what am I saying? Why am I seeing this on my TV? Why? I know it's Halloween, but why? This was just a stupid match. This was just a stupid match. I mean, you get Gallows and Anderson bloody putting on pumpkins, making themselves look like the Pumpkin Brothers. You got freaking Heath Slater and Rhino dressed as Santa Claus, even though Christmas is like 2 months away. What the heck? What am I watching? Is this Monday Night Raw? What the heck am I watching? I have no idea what I'm watching. So, and that was the last part of Raw me and my friend was able to watch. That was the last part of Raw that my friend and I were able to watch because we had to go to class. Sorry about that. I'm just sitting in my room, on my bed because my back is getting a bit sore. So that was the last piece of Raw we saw, and then we had, and when this was the stuff we missed. We missed Jason Jordan attacking Elias, which I really wouldn't have given a shit about that. We had Kalisto defeating Mr. PowerPoint Presentation himself, Drew Gulak. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Drew Gulak. He's an idiot. I hate his whole PowerPoint presentation thing. And Kalisto, I like Kalisto, but, I Cruiserweights just really isn't doing much at the moment. And this was the second title match. Now, this happened earlier. Kurt Angle got angry at Alexa Bliss for not doing anything to help out Monday Night Raw. So her punishment is that she has to defend her title against Mickie James. Why couldn't you punish Asuka for not helping your team? Huh? Asuka gets away safely with no penalty. But Alexa Bliss gets a penalty for not helping her roster. What about Asuka? Oh well, there's no point arguing over it. So Alexa Bliss beats Mickie James. Oh, thank God! Thank God, I do not want to see Mickie James as women's champion anymore. I don't know why people like Mickie. I don't know why people keep wanting Mickie James to be champion. I don't want to see Mickie James champion anymore. She's had her time. She's had her time. She's had her time. Mickie James should only be there to do one thing and one thing only. Put over younger talent. That's basically what all Mickie James is to me. That's all she needs to be. And now we're going to go over the final thing. Now, I did watch this. I watched this when I got home. Now, this is why I did that little intro at the start of the video. Because Braun Strowman, The Miz, was so terrified. The Miz saw Miz, earlier on in the show, The Miz saw a bag of trash, bag of garbage trash, or should I say bag of garbage, in his locker room. And he started panicking that he thought Braun Strowman was around. And then he asks Kane to help him take out Braun. But then Kane tells him, nah, you're on your own. So at the end of the show, Miz and Dallas and Axel were all in the limo. And they were like, there was nothing to worry about. Because Braun Strowman didn't come. Sorry if you saw my thumb. And then we see a garbage truck appear in front of the limo. And this is funny. I love Miz. I mean, I don't like Miz, but I love his acting, man. His acting is so hilarious. His facial expression when he saw Braun Strowman appear out of the garbage truck was absolutely hilarious. He was like, oh man, his reaction was so hilarious. I mean, The Miz, his acting is great. I respect The Miz as a competitor because, you know, he's a good bloke. I met him once when they came to Australia. He was a good person. He took a photo with me when they toured Australia. Oh man, it was just so funny. Then Braun Strowman, his face turn, and I'm glad that he's still the same person. He's still been booked the same. Now it's hard to say. This is just the start of his face run. This is just the start of his face run. We don't know what's going to happen next. So, we don't know what's going to be happening next with Braun Strowman's face turn. I could easily see Braun Strowman as an Intercontinental Champion, quite honest with you. I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind seeing Braun Strowman as an Intercontinental Champion. I know some people might believe he should be Universal Champion, but I think the Intercontinental Championship will look great on the monster among men. So anyway, guys, that has been your Monday Night Review. Be grateful I actually decided to take the time to do it. So this is your Monday Night Raw review. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Maybe with a SmackDown review, or maybe with my news report video. See you then, guys.